Closer to home, there are some other seagulls desperately trying to fight their way out of a horrible, sticky mess. But on Saturday the 8th, Brighton and Hove Albion managed to pull together to produce the performance of the season when they drubbed Hartlepool 5-0. But as any football fan will know, that Saturday meant much more to Albion fans than just another 3 points in the fight against relegation. Brian Bell found out why.
The concept of Fans United was that football supporters of every persuasion should come to the Brighton versus Hartlepool match to show solidarity with the Albion fans in their campaign to oust the club's current chairman Bill Archer and chief executive David Bellotti. And all this came from when Richard Vaughan, a 15-year-old Plymouth fan, contacted Albion supporters on their internet campaign page, pointing out to them that the 8th of February would be an ideal time for a day of action since no Premiership matches were being played on that day.
I just thought it'd be a good idea today because it shows that all the fans are behind them, and it's a way of, it's a fans thing, it's not a money thing from the board. It's so the fans can get involved for a change because the fans don't get enough say in what happens really.
How do you feel to see all this gathering momentum all because of your idea? What do you feel about that?
I still can't believe it, you know. It was just took a couple of minutes and all of this happened. Couldn't believe it, you know, came back a few days later and all these messages, response saying it's going to happen. I thought, couldn't believe it.
Liz Costa from Brighton and Hove Albion Supporters Club just sat back and watched as the email momentum gathered pace.
The messages started pouring in from all over the world, in fact, of support and saying, yes, I'll be there. And we thought, hey, what's going on here? You know, it really looked, it was heart-wrenching, actually, reading some of the messages that we were getting. And it's just snowballed from there, really. And I think a lot of what will happen today is going to be spontaneous because you can't possibly cater for everybody, but we're doing our best, and we've got, you know, lots of sort of souvenirs and things for people to buy as a memento of today, because I don't think it'll ever happen anywhere else again.
Has there been any rumblings from the Albion board in terms of how they're reacting to this day?
Well, we were accused last week of inviting a load of hooligans, which of course we shouted down immediately and said we actually haven't invited anybody. They are coming because they want to come. The rest of the world, the football world, want to join us in our protest against our board. Because they see it not only as our board, that their own boards and their own clubs are suffering, a lot of them, in the same way.
So with Fans United obviously designed to draw attention to the Albion fans campaign, what message were they hoping to convey to neutral observers?
The basic idea is that we recognise that football clubs are businesses. We do recognise they're businesses, they're not charities. But at the same time, every businessman that runs a business will know that they have to listen to their customer base. And in a nutshell, that's what hasn't happened at Brighton and Hove Albion. They have not listened to their customers, they have woefully ignored them, gone ahead, sold the ground, and thought that everything is going to be rosy in the garden. And that is not the case, and that's why you can see so many people here today, so many people who don't go to the games anymore because they've just been totally and utterly fed up with what has been going on, and their voice isn't being heard by the board of directors of our football club.
But that voice of protest had obviously been heard by the thousands of football fans who made their way to the Goldstone ground on a cold and misty Saturday afternoon.
All the way down from the northwest. Long live Lancashire, long live Brighton.
The little clubs are suffering, and it's not only going to be Brighton and Bournemouth that are going to go out, there are going to be a lot of other clubs, I think, that are going to go this way if we're not careful.
I think it's an excellent idea because, I mean, what people don't realise, or what the FA don't realise, or the directors don't realise, is without the fans there would be no football. There would be no businesses, you know, no football businesses for them to be involved in. And I think it's great. You see at international duty, at international games, fans wearing their own colours. You know, he's a Liverpool lad here, and Charlton supporters, and all mixing at international games. And there's no reason why we shouldn't feel the same sort of united feeling of fanship for somebody like Brighton, who are in desperate trouble at the moment.
We thought that coming down here would lend a hand in getting rid of their board of directors. That's basically why.
Well, what are your impressions of this whole day?
It's just wonderful, all fans together, it's unique. You know, it's just something that's great, go down in history.
And the "you'll never walk alone" spirit seemingly touched a nerve with fans from all over Europe.
You've made a big effort to come along today. Why did you make the effort?
Good friends. Good friends are calling us, and we are coming. It's a natural thing. I think the idea is good, because why should one person decide for the profit purposes to make misery of lives from most of the other fans? It's not fair. It's just not fair.
But you would presume that York City fans didn't think it was fair when their away game at the Goldstone Ground last season was abandoned due to a protest on the pitch by Brighton supporters.
You know, it would have been understandable if the York fans had really had it in for Brighton fans after that, because it ruined your day, didn't it?
No, actually it had a reverse effect. Because that day I think a lot of camaraderie happened between the clubs. And as I said, we're all football fans at the end of the day. What can happen at Brighton can happen at York, it can happen anywhere.
As kick-off approached and it became apparent that the Fans United protest had more than doubled Albion's usual crowd, Liz Costa was clearly overwhelmed by the occasion.
Okay, Liz, it's all happened now. What are your feelings?
I can't believe this. I honest to God, I never thought it was going to happen. And I mean, we woke up this morning and we thought, we hope it's going to go as we planned, but I didn't believe it was going to be this big. And it's just such a big thank you to everybody, and to the club, and to the police, and to everybody who's helped us make it work. Because, well, I mean, you just got to look around you. It's astonishing.
There was further astonishment for Albion fans when their team went on to beat Hartlepool 5-0 to the witty chants of "It's just like watching Brazil" and "Score 6 if you hate Archer." And hat-trick scorer Craig Maskell, who would have traditionally kept the match ball, decided that the fans were the worthy.